Hey everybody, we are doing a Q&A. I'm Roy Canday.
I'm Wendy Yee.
I'm Chris Yee.
So there's a little bit of a format change here that we're doing because normally there were Q&As on Mondays, and with the new schedule, we're going to have Q&As with groups of people on occasional Fridays. Every other Friday, basically.
Boom.
Something like that.
Something like
Today
that.
is Friday. That's what that's telling me.
Right.
I have no idea what day it is because we were on vacation to Wednesday. Yeah, we started working Wednesday this week.
Yeah.
So I'm a bit off. It feels like Wednesday. Yeah.
Oh gosh, it's Wednesday.
But I'm exhausted because jet lag.
Yeah. We're in Vegas. Vegas, baby.
So the jet lag's still getting you guys?
It's almost like worse now.
It didn't get us the first,
Yeah.
because we were so exhausted that first day. We came back and we're like, I can plot to sleep right now. So I
Crash.
played 2 hours of Zelda and then I plot to sleep because I was like, I'm going to make sure to go to bed tired. And that worked really well. And I have not stopped being tired since.
Wow.
I took a nap
that is
yesterday.
rough.
I usually take like a 20-minute nap in the afternoon. It was like an hour, and then I spent a half an hour trying to get up from the couch. Like, I literally laid on the floor as I was trying to get up from the couch. I was like, I moved. I'm there. Okay.
That's
Sleep
how you
is
get
sleep
up.
is one of the things that just always wrecks me. Like sometimes I'll be like, you know what? I don't need to sleep, and I'll stay up to 3 or something, and then I always regret it. It wrecks me.
Oh my goodness.
I can't. I can sleep in the next day. It doesn't work like that. You wake up at normal time. You're like, this doesn't seem right.
Body, where's the snooze button?
But yeah, make sure to ask us all of your questions, everybody. But yeah, I guess we'll start here with this one from Mike. Wendy.
Yes.
What brushes to send you? What's the best way to get? Oh, they're actually trying to get you brushes.
Yeah. Ooh, thanks, Mike, because they were all sold out. So the two websites that you told me, Mike, there was one that they had size 2 and the other one they had size 1 and 0, but no website had the 2 and the 0 that I wanted.
Is there a
It's
specific
complicated.
brand that you use?
It's the Kalins. I can't even pronounce that name. It's some type of very specific fur that is the best for paintbrushes.
Oh, nice.
It's super fancy, so they end up being $15-20 a brush, which actually was still a really good deal because sometimes they're $50 a brush. So anyways, Mike was telling me about that on the Discord, which actually, if you haven't checked out our Discord, how do people get on there, Chris? Because I don't know the details.
There should be a link below.
Probably.
I don't know.
Anyways,
I had to have Chris email me the link. I'm like, Chris, email me the link to the Discord.
speaking
Now
of
I think
email,
we can get to
Mike,
easier.
if you email me at wendy@dicetower.com, then we can hook that up.
Nice.
Yep.
I should actually go on the Discord occasionally. That would be cool.
Yeah, but there's all these details about paintbrushes that I don't fully understand about the length and the base of it, depending on how much paint it holds versus doesn't hold, and it's all this fancy stuff that people on the Discord know that I don't.
We don't actually have a link to the Discord in
Wow.
here.
Can you just Google search or Discord
I
search
think it's
the
hard.
Dice Tower?
I think you have to have an invite link.
An
I
official
think
link?
you do, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So we'll get on that for people to make it easier to get to the Discord.
Mm-hmm.
So hey, still enjoying Tears of the Kingdom? Question mark? 'Cause you just mentioned Tears of the Kingdom.
100%. I just played last night. I think I got 4 more shrines, and I got the sticky armor. The non-sticky... The non-slip armor. I think it's called sticky armor.
I need to play
something
more.
like that.
I just haven't taken the time. Every time that I would have time, I just I should clean the house or do this other thing. I try to
Oh,
be-
that's
try
your
to be
biggest mistake right there.
I try to be
Candy.
productive.
So Tom was telling me about this hack where you can get a bunch of apples at once. And he's like, oh yeah, so
really?
you stick a bunch of apples together and then you use auto build to get a bunch of apples. And I was like, oh, okay, I'll do that. I forgot that when you auto build, you can't pull anything apart. So they're fake apples. I think what he meant was that you use the auto build function to grab all the apples from a tree that are already there. You can't just make apples appear.
Yes.
So I definitely misunderstood that. I was like, oh, I'm going to use this hack for everything. And then it super failed.
If you don't know what auto build is, spoilers. No, oh man. I really like Tears of the Kingdom. On the flight back from Vegas, I was trying to play Tears of the Kingdom. I was like, yes. 4.5 hours of uninterrupted time to just play video games. I'm a half hour into the flight, and this guy next to me, Joe, my new best friend, was like, excuse me there, young whippersnapper. Are you playing one of them video-fangled machines? My good friend's great-grandson is now a professional video gamer. What does that mean, boy? And
Did he say it like that?
No.
I was
Not
about to
with that
say, what in
design.
the world?
He was actually really nice. But he was asking me how does someone become a professional gamer? Because he was a pharmacist and now he plays video games for a living. Like, how does that work? So I had to explain to him that it's like
selling drugs?
it's like the
Because like a pharmacist?
It's like the new sports.
It's like becoming an accountant, or being an accountant and becoming a YouTuber.
For example.
Nobody does that
Right.
in real life.
No.
Yeah.
Anyway, I ended up talking to that guy for like the entire flight. And at some point, I was like, I'm really enjoying talking with you. It seems like it'd be rude to like interrupt you and be like, I'm gonna go back to playing my video fangled machines. You really want to tell me about your life and your great travels around the whole world.
And what did
You
the flight before
slowly
you
start
also
putting
have really talking to
headphones
people?
in.
That's me.
Or
I
be
check
like-
out. I'm like, phone,
Pretend to be asleep.
video screen, done.
And then you're pretending to be asleep. Like,
One eye open.
exactly.
Yeah, because I don't want to be rude, but also I want to be rude. I want to be like, nope, this is my quiet time.
Had a good conversation. I like Joe. Joe's great.
Maybe Joe's watching this right now.
He might be. Sorry about the bad impression of you there, Joe.
Let's see.
Oh. People can't stop playing.
I don't know too much about this, but are there any secrets we can reveal about the Summer Spectacular? Our top 100s are ending during the Summer Spectacular. That's one
Ooh,
thing. We're going to be in our
spoilers.
top 10 by the time we get to the Summer Spectacular.
It's been a long road.
It has been a long road.
And you all have been there with us every step of the way. Most of the steps of the way.
Make sure to watch the announcement video during the Summer Spectacular. That's always been that's one of my favorite staples that we've been doing. Summer Spectaculars, when companies will send in announcement videos and stuff about all sorts of cool upcoming things, and like it's
cool.
I like that I get to put that together and then I get to like sneak preview all of them.
Roy knows all the secrets.
And
That's
Tom will be
true.
like, Roy, did you see?
If you want to know secrets, that's what Chris saying. Come to the Summer Spectacular.
Then
You'll
you'll
know all
know
the
the
secrets.
secrets.
Secret, I got a secret.
Da-da-da-da-da.
Bang, 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 bang.
Let's see. Where's a good question?
I don't think we have current plans to produce 3D printed board game related content.
Where is it?
This right here.
This. Oh my goodness. There has been a teeny bit. I used to do a segment forever ago, printed pieces on breakfast, and we did post that all together as one thing. But then also Brian does 3D printed stuff during Smorgasbord. So he has a segment in Smorgasbord specifically about 3D printed board game stuff.
And sometimes in his reviews.
And sometimes in his review, well, he was doing it in his reviews for a little bit, and then he didn't have an outlet. So now he has more of an outlet, I think, with this thing.
Maybe that's what it is.
I didn't know. Camilla does inserts, so she reviews inserts and stuff like that as well,
yeah.
and some painting stuff. So
But those aren't 3D printed. Those are like
The folded
yeah,
space
they're like
stuff.
folded space. Yeah.
And we normally don't like do the reviews and stuff like that, except Brian did a review of one of the machines once. So there's that.
The time lapse stuff is cool though. Like
It is.
I've watched some time lapse stuff on YouTube. So
I used to do a little bit of that on my little printed pieces segment thing, but that
seems like a lot
it's
of
like
work.
years ago at this point. I think it
Yeah.
might have been before you guys were here.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
That was before we were here.
I think it was years before we got hired here.
Do you ever have issues with your 3D printer and humidity?
Always have issues with my 3D printer. I don't do a segment called printed pieces anymore. No.
For that reason. But yeah, did you have humidity issues? Because I hear that's a problem with some people.
I think the filament, if it's just out too long, like especially down here, like it just gets brittle and breaks and stuff, just because it like sits around and gets too old. And I think that's partly because of the humidity and the temperature and things like that. So
Interesting.
So you have to be careful, and then more prints are going to fail if you have brittle like filament. But of course, people do resin printing as well, which is a completely different thing, which I haven't done.
Janway wants to know how far we are in Tears of the Kingdom. I have two, I call them my little companions, or my little buddies. What are they actually called?
You've done
Sages?
2 shrines.
I've done two, I have 2 sages. They're not shrines. Dungeons?
Well, I don't know. In almost every Zelda, or not the shrine, but like the temples is usually what they're called.
Yeah, temples.
2
Is
of
that
the
the big bosses or whatever?
yeah.
Gotcha.
It's so hard to gauge because there's those big quest things, but also there's so many little things. Like how many pieces of armor do I have? I don't know a lot. Like
You have far more armor
I
than
have
me.
a lot more than you.
You've done the fairy fountains. I haven't done any of it.
That's
Like,
true. I have 3 out of the 4 fairy fountains. I
Chris, you just
have.
run out on circles, basically.
I'm having so much fun running in circles, though.
I think I've done 5 of the stable quests. Because you do the stable quest, that's how you get the sticky armor.
How much of the Underdark have you mapped out?
Almost half.
That's
Almost
wild
half
to
of
me.
it. Yeah. I've done everything on the
crazy.
left side of the screen,
Holy
but
smokes.
nothing on the right. So that's where I'm at. I think I have one more regular tower to get so that I have the last bit of landscape showing on the top. Yeah. Where are you at?
I still have like multiple towers to do, and I have like a quarter of the Underdark maybe mapped out. Someone hogs the Switch for some reason.
Someone works part-time and has to go get my daughter from school and has to come home and, play the Switch for an hour each day.
Wow. It's part of the schedule.
Yeah. It's required.
So here's a good question. What is the new Dice Tower Encore channel that took over the unboxing channel?
Oh, yeah.
So this is something that I know you and Joey and Tom worked on this a bunch of trying to like figure out a way to like rebrand that channel.
Yeah, so one of the big things, so Tom announced at the beginning of this week that we're kind of reducing the number of videos that we have on the main channel here a little bit, and we're doing more bundle reviews. It's just going to be more practical that way. So you'll see more rapid fire roundups. You'll see more like, hey, here's 5 games that we're going to review. The problem is that they're not always very searchable. So if we are covering 5 different games, hey, here's 5 trick-taking games. We've noticed that it's always harder to like type in the name of the game and have our video pop up. So the Encore channel is we're going to split up a bundle review or a rapid fire roundup. We cut out the minute, 2 minute, 3 minutes where we're reviewing a game for the first time, and that'll have a designated separate video on the Encore channel. And so if you subscribe to that, then you'll see like short kind of quicker reviews of those games that we're not doing full bigger reviews of here. And it's a good way that we can have those videos go to Board Game Geek so people have more of a library to find them at. If you are in a store and you're like, oh, what's this? And we've done a quick review on it, you can just Google search it or YouTube search it, and it'll take you to the Encore channel. It'll take you to that video. Because that's always been one of the Dice Tower goals, is to have like a massive library of reviews.
Right.
But the downside of that is that means we have a massive amount of videos.
Right.
And so it's harder to say, subscribe to the channel. Get 12 updates a day.
Right.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. For
Well, and this is just
notifications.
going to make it so much easier for people to find those specific games, and they can be specifically stuck on Board Game Geek individually, which hopefully lets people know our opinions on those games and helps people know if they're a game that would work for them or not.
That's true, because I know I've even gone through on Board Game Geek, and when you get a bundle of reviews on each one of those games, you're like, okay, where's the game inside that I'm looking for?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So to make it
Sorry.
easier when it's all cut up. This is the most important question. Why do you refuse to conform to the Dice Tower mandate for your name? My font for my name here is different than the font for the other twos. It's because this project, when I set it up, was just me for Q&A, and I had that font. And then when I went to add Chris and Wendy in, it had the normal Dice Tower Growbald font. This is like the Last Light font.
You need to
Yeah, I was gonna say,
grow
that's your space
bold,
font.
That is
Roy.
my like it's literally our graphic designer made a specific font for Last Light, and that's what it is.
Oh, really?
So, and it's just kind of funny that like I was like, I saw it and I'm like, it's different. I should change it, and then I didn't, and then we started.
I feel like I want to see more letters in that Last Slide font. Like the capital is bolded. Is that what? Like, are the capitals more interesting?
One of us.
Ooh,
Of us.
Wait, how are we
join
doing
in
this?
Last Light.
Everybody's
Wasn't it?
doing the fish.
This was Growbold,
Yeah,
Wendy.
yeah,
This will
yeah.
be Last Light, Wendy. See
I was
how
gonna
see
say,
how I
don't-
change.
Other people don't have this on their computer, so there you go.
Oh, that
But
W is
made,
fancy.
I made my the last letters like smaller, so like I don't know. I font changed it smaller. I don't know. Whatever.
Oh,
You're all
I
capital
see.
now.
It's lowercase.
This is the content that you subscribe to the Dice
Oh.
Tower for.
This is the important
Chris, you don't
parts.
get to do it.
No. Now I'm unique.
Yep. Did you guys play any games that Tom brought from Brazil? I haven't yet. Did you play one?
We play.
We play that
Unless
Was
I
that
played one and
squirrel
didn't
one
know.
from Brazil?
Beaver Creek.
Beaver Creek, baby.
So adorable. Still stacking game. Played it with her daughter.
I failed at it.
There was one that I
Miserably.
really wanted to play, the video game one or whatever.
Oh,
they were telling me
Bomb, the
about.
video game.
Yeah, I'm really interested in that.
That seems cool.
That's gonna be a hot game at Dice Tower East.
I think there's a review coming or just got posted for the World.
Yeah. I think it's
Builders?
coming out later, but yeah. Or maybe it just
World-
did. I don't know.
Yeah, I forget the name, but World Monuments?
Changers? World something?
I think it's called World Monuments or something. I can't remember now. But yeah,
They had a lot of fun with that one.
Yeah, so yeah, make sure to go watch that one. Yeah, that'll be really cool. Yeah, there's a few that I want to try. But Archaeo Society came in, and I was like, that's what we're playing tonight.
So we're playing instead. Tracks on tracks on tracks.
Jim, you better have your copy of Last Light by The Retreat, because The Retreat is not till September. That's crazy.
That's true.
I thought it said East for a second. I'm like, oh. No, it says The Retreat.
Are you guys stopping through any cities on your way to Gen Con? Roy and I are flying. Chris is in the party van.
Van team rules. Yeah, we're going to stop somewhere outside of Miami. I don't know if you know this or not. Florida's a very tall state. It takes a lot of effort to drive out of here. I think that we're stopping partway through, and then we're driving the rest of the way on the second day of the Gen Con leg trip, ending in Atlanta, where we're going to level up games, and we're going to do the game night there. Then the next day we're driving into Indianapolis and doing setup and everything. So it's going to be an exhausting van trip, but it should be fun. Should be fun.
The van is the pre-party before the party, and it's also the post-party post the party, right?
Post-haste.
Post. Gen
Yeah.
Con. I'm excited about Gen Con. That's the one not us con that I get to go to every year, so it's fun. It's because it's summer vacation, and it's easier to get babysitting when your child doesn't have to go to school every day. So.
It's
good.
super hard to figure out babysitting here.
Yeah, not
particularly.
having family makes a difference. I mean, you probably feel the same. Not
I'll
having
trade.
family here.
We'll help babysit if you guys help babysit. Deal. Anyway.
I'll babysit your kids at Gen Con.
Oh yeah, Gen Con won't really be that much of a help.
Put your kids in the van. It's
Van team rules.
van entertainment.
I'll put my kids in the van and then I'll fly, and then I won't have a job.
I knew a family that had like 10 kids, and they had one of those giant Mercedes vans, like the really fancy, big, tall ones.
Oh, that's awesome.
And they just had a like 40-inch TV just like mounted in the front of their van so that everybody in the back could see. Like, it was great.
Mounted behind the driver's seat.
Yeah, behind the driver's seat. It was
Holy
just there,
smokes.
permanently mounted with a VCR and DVD player, whatever. Probably not VCR. And
This was like-
Laserdisc.
This was like 4 years ago. I'm guessing it was not a VCR.
it was like 5 or 6 years ago. But anyways, we had this like big girls camp with all the teenagers from our church. We just loaded them all in the van and we drove up to Utah from Nevada, and it was great.
That is pretty cool.
We were
The whole
entertained
like
the whole way.
the whole like moving theater.
Yeah.
Gosh, I would love it if it was a VCR. All right, kids, we're watching Speed 2 again tonight. No!
Welcome to The Little Mermaid 2. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, I never watched The Little Mermaid 2. And I did not watch the most recent Little Mermaid. I hear not great things.
What is the poster behind you?
That's one of those metal magnetic
I don't
posters.
remember the exact name of them. They're really cool though. The
Yeah.
way you
They're
can
really-
adjust them.
Let me
Yeah,
move.
it was a Kickstarter that they pulled. So
But they had a lot of board game themed ones and a lot of just like nerdy themed ones in general.
Andrew Bosley did a lot of the art and stuff. So yeah, if it goes back on Kickstarter, it's something you should keep a lookout for. They're really neat.
Where is? I don't know about this.
Do you know Shatterpoint, Chris? Have we gotten that?
We have not gotten Shatterpoint, as to my
Oh
knowledge.
wait, that's the
That's a Star Wars
That's the Star
miniatures
Wars
game.
one. Yeah, so I think it's supposed to be coming in. Tom was like, I don't want to put it together. I'm like, I'll put it together. Like, I'll make it happen, you know. But hopefully that'll come in soon. I think it's supposed to be.
Yeah, I don't think that we have it yet.
Any deck builders we're looking forward to?
I'm always looking forward to deck builders. I mean, depending on the IP and depending on who designed them.
I don't think I have any on my current list.
I want Clank Catacombs expansions.
Zach, are there any deck builders you are looking forward to? Is this like one of those questions that you're like, you guys want to talk about this one, but I don't want to tell you to talk about this one?
Does anyone want to eat the ham that's in the fridge? No, just me?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm hungry.
We had a buddy come by yesterday to help out with some stuff, and she made chai bread. So it's basically like a sweet bread with some chai spices in it, and it's delicious, and it's in the fridge waiting for me because it's gluten-free.
To answer your question, Clank Legacy 2. That's the only deck builder I know of that's like forthcoming.
You haven't
Yeah.
played Clank Legacy 1.
I still want to play it though.
I mean, I'm excited about Clank Legacy 2. I know that's going to be like an undertaking when we play it. I think it's going to be good. It was like Clank Legacy 1 was amazing. Yeah, it'll be cool. Lots of story, lots of things. all the stuff. Somebody says that they're going and getting some gummies and trying to send some down to the studio. Any specific requests, or you just want an assortment? I love gummies.
I love gummies
All
too.
the gummies.
I mean, assortment sounds fantastic.
Peach rings,
What are the
bears.
the Harborough gummies or whatever with like the little the like white eggs or whatever, or like the little frogs, like the little gummy frogs are always good.
Yeah,
Oh.
Camilla turned us onto those frogs.
Yeah,
those
are
are
tasty.
those are really neat because they have that kind of like half normal gummy top, bottom half is like
The
a
white.
creamy gummy.
Yeah, that's
I've
what
always-
the fried egg ones are. Just that creamy part basically, with like a tiny little yellow regular gummy. on
You
top.
know how fruit snacks
yeah.
will sometimes have like the creamier looking fruit snacks and the regular ones, but I don't really taste a difference. Like, is
Your
there a
taste buds are
difference?
broken when
My
you-
taste buds are broken. I lost my ability to taste creaminess after COVID, like 2 years ago.
It's messed up.
It's very sad.
Too
I had a
soon.
very refined palate, and it is unrefined now.
Are you like being serious or are you?
I'm being serious. No. Like, I can't taste butter anymore. Like, butter just
You
feels
can't
like
taste
grease.
butter.
Yeah, I don't taste anything. I taste the salt a little bit.
What happens when you go to the movie theater with you don't put butter on the popcorn and you can't taste it? It's just like not there.
I
It
just don't
tastes
really taste
wet?
butter. I don't know. I don't know what it is. But I
you-
used to love like banana bread with fresh butter on it, and I eat it, and I'm like, that tastes like banana bread with grease on it, like flavorless grease. But I can taste it like
You have been ruined.
ice cream is not as good, but I can still taste the creaminess of ice cream. So I don't know. It's like a. It's
Wait,
like,
what? Are you saying that ice cream isn't as?
ice cream's amazing, but it's not as good as it used to be. For me, because I can't taste all that creaminess anymore.
And for you, you are now banished from eating ice cream if you have watched this video. Sorry, that's the facts.
I still love ice cream.
World Wonders. Thank you, Mike. World Wonders is the name of the game that's coming, the review for Sunday.
Ruthie has a question for you, Wendy. Wendy,
Yes.
will you teach me Mysterium?
Yes, Ruthie, I will. I will. Come over, hang out.
I want to play Mysterium. Like, I've never played, so it's always funny because Ruthie will see games and be like, "Oh, this game." I'm like, "I don't know how to play that." She's
Oh,
like,
okay.
"We need to get somebody to teach us how to play that."
Well,
I
let's
didn't
play
know
it.
I didn't know that you hadn't played Mysterium.
I've never played Mysterium.
We should.
cool.
Your kids are in town. We should all play. Kids,
Mysterium?
the kids can play Mysterium.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know like how much it was involved.
It's not that involved.
Yeah, one player has to be the ghost to kind of run things, and they have to know what's up. But other than that,
Just pictures and discussing and here's about.
Will anybody be backing the Firefly 10th Anniversary Collector's Edition on Game Found? I liked Firefly better when it was called Last Light. I mean, not Last. When it was called Zaya.
You were serious.
Zaya, sorry. Slip of the tongue. I really like Zaya. I haven't played the regular Firefly, so I don't think I'd play the 10th Anniversary Collector's Edition.
So is this a remake of the Firefly that we played?
yeah, the fire.
I
yeah.
think
Okay.
so. Like the
Yeah.
run around, like pick up
Pick up and deliver?
stuff. I think I would enjoy it. But yeah, I really enjoy Zaya, which is kind of the same sort of thing, I think.
It's so much simpler than Zaya.
It is simpler than Zaya.
A lot, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you get to upgrade
shorter.
things a lot in the Firefly game, or?
No.
Only a little bit.
Yeah. You could like add a couple things to shit, but not much.
I like Firefly a lot. I wonder. I haven't played it in a few years, so I wonder if I would sit there and be annoyed with little things like, oh, at the last planet I was at, did I buy enough gas tokens? Like fuel tokens.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm running low on fuel. Like those little finicky things that you're like, oh, I've played so many games that have moved away from like, not resource.
Bookkeeping.
Yeah, like resource management that falls into bookkeeping.
Yeah.
But it is a lot of fun still. But wow, 10 years. 10 years.
Are they going to tighten up the mechanics at all, or are they just literally just like reproducing it?
Probably just making a deluxe version of what already
Okay.
is.
Are
The
they gonna-
expansions
Are
folded
they going to
in.
get less grainy pictures of some of those side random characters? That's the thing about anytime that
Yeah.
you take a TV show and you turn it into a game and use the same artwork from the TV show, they're just like, some of the people have great pictures, and then some of the people are like, random person over there with this name. It's
Gun-
like-
gunman.
I know
It's
super
an,
hard to
I know
see.
it's an anathema to people, but I don't know the IP that well. I watched the movie. I watched a few episodes of the show, but like it never like gripped me. So
Oh, yeah?
I've never been like Firefly. You
Oh.
know, I figured if it was really good, they would have continued with the show. You know.
What?
I'm just kidding. Okay.
I really enjoyed the show. I don't think I would love the game anymore. Like I genuinely don't think I would love it anymore. I think that was a time in my life where gaming was new, and so playing something that was like that elaborate and thematic and stuff, like I think it all kind of fit in the perfect timing. But I think if I were to go back to it, I'd be like, this game is very fine.
Yeah.
That's what I imagine.
How do you guys stay motivated and passionate about gaming when you play so many? Does gaming fatigue ever affect your reviews? Advice in avoiding burnout in general? I want to say for me, it's mostly just going back and playing games that I really enjoy. You know, it's like we play tons and tons of new games all the time, and it's cool to see new games, and that is a lot of fun. But also like going back and remembering, like, oh man, I really like this game, and just playing them with friends just for fun. Like playing games just for fun and not for work helps like reinvigorate me to be like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna like do this, and like this is really fun. You know, so. Yeah, I mean, we were all like super into games before we were even doing board game media, and then we all had our own board game media aside from the Dice Tower because we loved games so much we wanted to keep talking about it, and then we morphed it into our Dice Tower career that we have now.
I think
What about
Chris
you guys?
just doesn't get fatigued. I think you just always want to play board games.
I do hit a little fatigue, less than you,
Significantly less than me.
admittedly. But yeah, I agree with Roy. I mean, just taking time to like play the games that I like our old standards that I love.
Yeah.
Taking evenings to like, oh, you know what? We're just gonna play Zelda. We went on vacation this last week.
Right.
We didn't bring any work games.
We
But-
only played games we love with family. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I mean, we show up and it's funny because it's cute because my brother, my stepdad, and my sister-in-law have really gotten into like Cascadia, and so we played Cascadia like a few times on
All
this
the
trip.
pine cones.
Yeah,
Which
and
I think I played Cascadia maybe once before then. We played it multiple times this weekend.
yeah, like multiple games of it. And I was like, I haven't had that feeling of just being really into one game and playing it over and over like that. Like it was a nice luxury.
Nice,
It kind of
yeah.
felt like to just be like, I'm not bringing any work stuff with me.
It definitely is a different vibe, like playing a game, like looking at the game analytically or being like, okay, how does this game work, or trying to formulate that stuff, and then playing a game that you know you like and just showing it off to people, you know, and just playing it casually for fun is a very different vibe for me, at least, you know, when
I
I'm
think-
playing on those two different
Agreed.
ways.
I think that's a benefit of our conventions is that we get to play the games that we want to play.
And it's technically for work too as
Yeah,
well. It's like,
yeah.
Yeah, I love doing that too.
Like,
Like
here, you
teaching
guys play
people
this.
games that we know we love, and we're still like doing the thing we're supposed to be doing. So-
Yeah.
How about you, Wendy, with
But
burnout?
I definitely get burnt out. I do. I am such an introvert. Like I recharge being introverted, and so there's definitely I need a few days a week where I'm not playing board games at home, where I'm just like doing my own thing. I'm reading a book, I'm painting, I'm playing Zelda, whatever it is. I need those days, and I'm really glad that I have Chris to keep me on the game wagon because I do really love board games, but there's definitely those weeks where I'm like, do I love board gamings? And I think the fatigue for me is the learning new rules all the time.
Yeah.
That's where I get like, okay, I just learned 3 games this week. I have to learn 2 more. Like, okay, here's a new game. Let's hop into it. And so, yeah, I think like Mother's Day, we played Feast for Odin. And for me, that was like, oh, I do love board games. This is great. So it's one of my favorites. And so, yeah, taking that time to either do non-board gaming stuff or having that time to like play something that I really love and get to really like enjoy is great. What was the other question? How does it ever affect your reviews?
I think we do a good job of trying to like neutralize like our what is that called? Like our own biases.
Right.
We'll never be 100% bias free.
Yeah.
And we do try to have the people that like the game the most be the people that review the game, you know, or like if we like people play the games that they think they would enjoy, you know, normally. So it's kind of like, oh, I really like that. Let me grab that off the shelf and be the person to like spearhead that
Learn
review
and
sort
do
of
it.
thing, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that, to Tom's credit, the idea of having multiple people and more reviews does also help prevent that. If
Balances it.
if for some reason I was just in kind of a bad place for a week or two and I was like, I didn't really love this game, but Wendy for some reason was jazzed about it. Tom's in the review and he was jazzed about it. That should come across, you know, and so
Yeah.
so as far as I know, it shouldn't affect us too much. We do take some time away. We don't feel the need to like review a game immediately. I think that helps too. We play a game. If I had a bad experience with it, I might come back to it a week later or 2 weeks later.
That's true. And try it again.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting how it's affecting our top 100s because I've played so many more games in the last 2 years than I had played previous to those last 2 years. And so there's that weird bit of like, top 100 is so sentimental, and it's hard for a game to break through that and get on the top 100. But then other times, stuff does break through, and I'm like, how did that one break through? Like, how did that make it onto my top 100? I guess
I never
did
question
really like that.
how a game made on my top 100, because normally if they're breaking in, it's like a lot of times they have like pretty high debuts too, because like, oh, I love this guy.
Well, yeah, but it's like, how come that one's different? Like, why that one over all the other ones? Like, I know why I put on my top 100, but how is it really that different? I don't know. There's so many Euro games out there, right? There's so many heavy Euro games out there.
Yeah.
Why is this the one that broke through into this slot? It's just such an interesting thing to ponder on.
Roy, how many kids do you have? So many kids. All the kids. So Logan is 4 years old. That's my girlfriend Ruthie's youngest son. And then Emma is, oh my goodness, I shouldn't have said age. I'm going to get myself in trouble.
8?
She is 7.
Older.
7?
She is
7.
older.
She's turning 8 in just a little bit. So she's in first grade. So Emma, and then Violet is 8, and she is, she's awesome. That's my youngest daughter. And then Scotty is 10. And man, so many kids. And they're all very different. And they all really like board games too, which is kind of crazy. Like,
That's
if
awesome.
they could, they would play board games with me constantly. Playing board games with 4 kids is sometimes crazy, but we make
Sometimes.
it's always crazy. You have to have very specific games. We'll play like Go Away Monster, or like the go-to for us has always been
Is that the 5 minute?
Concept Kids with the animals. We played that with you guys one
Yeah.
time.
It's
and
great.
Yeah, it's just so simple because you can jump in and out of it, and it doesn't really matter too much. The score doesn't matter too much, but it's all about like trying to guess the animal and things like that. So it's been a lot of fun, and I've been playing Magic with my oldest a bunch, which has been kind of interesting. Like the fact that he's like actually getting it and like doing really well is kind of like shocking to me.
Isn't it fun to have that moment where you're like, okay, my kid is like really getting strategy now?
Yeah, because for the longest time, I would play, like I've played games with him a bunch, and like it would be like, okay, you do this and this and this, and I was like helping him, like guiding him a lot. But now he's like taking the reins and being like, oh, I do this, and I play this down, which I can attach to this guy, and now he's really strong. I'm like,
He's really strong.
That's pretty good.
Oh, that's exciting.
So those things are kind of fun.
That's awesome.
We need more Dice Tower vans. I have just regular black vans, but not a Dice Tower vans. We should get some Dice Tower vans.
You should put Dice Tower stickers on your foot.
I don't think they would last very long.
It would not.
I think I'm wearing Pumas from the...
Ooh, Dice Tower Pumas. That should be the next thing.
Yeah,
Oh.
I got them from the outlet discount mall that carries like 3-year-old merchandise, and I'm like, $20? Yes!
I definitely get my vans at the Vans outlet because they're like deals. Actually, I haven't got them myself. Ruthie's been getting them for me normally, but
I'm wearing old lady orthopedic
Vans from
shoes, so.
we need Dice Tower old lady orthopedic shoes.
So I really like this pair of shoes, and they're starting to get worn out, and I want to buy another pair, but they have teal and white, this like ugly red and white, and then they have straight up black, like everything is black, and they just all look old. I want like nice looking modern old lady shoes.
What are you excited about here, Roy?
This thing here. My son wants to know if you're looking forward to new Switch games like Super Mario RPG or Gloomhaven or others. Super Mario RPG! Like, I saw that trailer and I was like, holy smokes, I'm going to own that for sure.
I love it. Because it looks like it's a very, very faithful,
It looks like it's basically the same game.
Yeah, true adaptation. It's kind of like
No Final Fantasy VII remake.
Yeah,
Hope not.
and I don't even dislike Final Fantasy VII Remake. I enjoyed it a lot, but I wouldn't want that done to Super Mario RPG. That game is just so, it's so delightful. It's so approachable. I played that a lot as a kid. I'm excited because our daughter's at an age where she could play that too.
Yeah.
You know, she's playing pretty well through the Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu or whatever.
Yeah.
So she could get that game. Like, I'm excited
sure.
to see that, pass that on to another generation.
Yeah, I love Super Mario RPG. It's one of my top 10 games that I have. It's like really high up there for me. But yeah, it's just a fun story and like very different. And I know for the longest time there was like this dispute between Square and Nintendo about like making sequels and stuff like that. And now we get to see like Gino and Mello in like a game, and like maybe they'll come to Super Smash Brothers.
That's
or
my
maybe
third
they'll
thought,
be-
yeah. Super
able to do
Smash.
other things. You know, it's like we need more Gino and Mello because those characters never got to be in really other things than Super Mario RPG.
very happy about it. As for Gloomhaven, I don't know how the interface is going to be on a
That would
Switch.
be interesting to play.
Yeah. I could get it on PC, but I don't play PC stuff too much.
Da, 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 da.
Will wants you to hook up a Switch in the van and take turns playing Zelda. Everyone can just bring their own Switch and play their own Zelda.
Play Zelda all at the
Better.
same time.
Yeah.
Chris is like, we need another Switch.
This is the hard part. I'm going to be in the van. Do I get priority for the Switch?
Yeah, you do.
Yes! You're the best. Thanks.
I'll watch Korean dramas instead. I just watched Agency. That's what I watched on our plane trip.
You can get like used Switches pretty cheap. Like if you go to Facebook Marketplace, it's just like slap full of like Switches.
Really?
That's how we bought ours.
yeah.
But that was years
That was
ago.
years ago.
They're like $100 now, and with like a pile of games. So I'm not trying to tempt you into getting another Switch, but also you could both have a Switch.
Our
on,
daughter
so.
plays Switch now, so.
Yeah, or you can get
So
like
the
a
whole
Lite or
reason,
something.
the whole reason why we got her on the Switch is because free tablet games just suck, right?
Oh my gosh.
They're just terrible. They're ads every 15 seconds, like they're awful. But the other reason was she already needs glasses, and we wanted a bigger screen so she could look farther away and strain her eyes less, because looking on small devices strains your eyes more.
So you
And
make her
so-
only play on the TV instead of on the.
Yeah.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
not the Switch Lite.
So not the Switch
No.
Lite. Yeah.
It's funny just how backwards it sounds from our parents' generation. Stop playing those video games, you'll ruin your eyes. And we're like, Zatanna, play video games.
I feel the same way. It's like play a good game,
Play a
like play a
real
real
game.
game,
Oh my
like actually
goodness.
play through it, like get some story, get some.
Yeah. I feel like every game is the same game online. There's like 5, and they're all repeats.
Also, we're getting the free app games, which are garbage. So
Right.
it's
There's
a little
that.
bit on us. I get that. Also, our daughter does outside time.
There is that.
So,
Yes.
yeah.
Let's see. What is this?
We sound like such good parents. No, play more video games, child.
What do each of you pack to a con that is unique to you?
I have to pack
My
a lot more
clothes.
makeup than most people at the Dice Tower.
I don't think. Oh yeah, your clothes would definitely be unique to you.
I don't pack Roy's clothes very often.
Actually, no, because Chris and I have a lot of duplicate Dice Tower shirts, and we tend to bring them all, so we actually have duplicates.
Look, it's not my fault that
not
you steal
unique.
some of my shirts. Like my graduation year shirt from UNLV. You did not graduate in 2016.
I did not graduate in 2011. Chris has 2 shirts from 2016 that say like UNLV alumni 2016. I stole them both. They are both mine, permanently.
Well, there's that.
So I guess
Yeah.
packing my own clothes is not unique to me, actually.
Not.
I don't know. I pack fairly light for conventions. I'm there to hang out and play games and chat with people.
I did learn last year. I packed 2 sets of shoes for Gen Con, and I was really grateful for that because you're standing for so long, and so switching shoes each day means that the pressure points are different.
Gotcha.
So I'm definitely going to repeat that.
That's a good point.
I normally pack my prototype, like a blast light normally, and then
Half the bag.
G Fuel, all the G Fuel.
Oh my goodness.
Which I don't do on carry-ons just because it's a pain in the neck when they're like, what is this strange powder? It's like, and they're like, oh, it's just like an energy drink.
We went on vacation once
Still
with
pain in the
Roy, and he didn't bring G Fuel, and he was different. You went to bed so early those nights.
You have to.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Like,
Wh-
you went to bed
when
so
was
early
this?
without G Fuel.
This is one of the
2 Decembers ago.
yeah. Oh, you know what? It was.
remember.
Time.
I think it was one of the cruises that you didn't pack G Fuel, is what it was.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so.
I think I also had the kids, though, so I was like having to put them to bed maybe. Oh, it was when we did that.
Yeah.
December
Yeah.
cruise.
So.
Yes, I agree. Yep. Also, I was trying to get the kids in bed.
Roy needs G Fuel.
Yeah. Ooh. Do any of you have a favorite Flamecraft dragon? I like Flamecraft. I don't know if I have a specific
like
dragon.
the
Red.
Blue
dragon.
one. I mean, Bread is cute. I like the blue one, whatever that one is. But that's because I like blue.
I think with the
like
Dice
blue.
Tower promos, there are Dice Tower people dragons, and I think there's a Roy dragon with like a hammer. I don't know why I have a
Oh,
hammer,
really?
but I would definitely be my
That's
favorite.
cute.
Yeah, I
counts.
definitely didn't get a dragon named after me. And am I bitter towards?
I think you should be.
I am very bitter. Yes.
Get good with cardboard alchemy or whatever.
Yeah. Cardboard Alchemy and Lucky Duck. You're on the list.
I don't know if I have a dragon. I don't think I have a dragon.
You might have.
Do I have a dragon?
I don't remember. It was like a few of the people. I would love if Wendy had one.
They're dragons, they're not people, Roy. Get it right.
They're named after, not Chris, is what I learned.
Oh man.
Mike Heller says gross. I don't know why, just gross.
Don't know what that's in relation to.
I need to put it on the screen though.
Someone was asking how big the Catchapalooza list is.
Where is it?
Chris and
oh, here it is.
yeah, Chris and I, our list of Catchapalooza is stupidly long.
Yeah.
I mean, it always
There's
is.
just always so many old games we want to play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I really want to play so many of them. Yeah. So I don't know. The official Ketchupalooza list, we've gone through a lot of them actually.
Interesting.
And some of them, people have played those games, and we haven't filmed Ketchupaloozas because we were the last several months just catching up on Essen releases basically. So we hadn't done a Ketchupalooza in a while, and now that we're changing format, but they will be more consistent every 2
scheduled,
weeks.
yeah.
That'll be interesting. So.
Yeah, so yeah, that'll definitely be a big deal of like actually seeing more Catchapaloozas now that it's like every other week, right?
It's going to be baked into the schedule, yeah.
And it's a slightly different format than the old ones because we play the game and they just immediately do the review for it. It makes for a long video, but it worked out really well the first one we did.
Yeah, your thoughts are fresh,
Yeah.
which is interesting. I tend to like my thoughts to be a little bit more baked
Marinated.
and stewed over a little bit, yeah. But yeah, I think it'd be good.
Where are we at?
Let's see. How is Joey acclimating to the tower? Well, we make him climb it daily. It's part of his diet and exercise regimen.
The oxygenation, the higher elevation you go,
You got to get used to it. You
Yeah.
got to like build up the lung capacity.
because that's the thing about Florida is the elevation. Can we like say
Anything
here?
tall in Florida was probably once a dump. Like legitimately. Every hill.
Did Roy see the trailer for the live action One Piece? I saw stills for it. Anime live action is not a thing that normally mixes. Is there a good live action anime anything? Anyway, next question.
The Street Fighter movie.
No, how? How could that even be? I mean, I heard slightly good things about the Cowboy Bebop one, but I didn't watch that. Did you watch that?
We watched like 2 episodes of it.
So you didn't make it through the whole thing?
I couldn't.
Yeah.
Oh.
It was one of the best attempts, I feel like, in some ways.
I
And,
didn't like the comedy style was the problem.
Yeah.
It didn't match the previous TV show.
Yeah.
But I liked a lot of what they were doing. But it was like a good. The problem with a lot of those real life anime things is that like they make really good skits, they make really good shorts and stuff. But like I just can't bring myself to watch a whole series of it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Tough.
They can do a lot more stuff with the. I mean, they could do it with CGI. I just don't think they normally have the budgets or the like know-how and knowledge normally to make it look as good as they can with just drawing, like with all the different action sequences. Normally, animes have like pretty bombastic action sequences.
And that's the thing is you have to go really stylized, which means I
Right.
think to your point, budget.
Right. Yeah. I think none of them have enough budget to make it good enough. To meet the expectations of the fans for the most part.
Even DC can't apparently make a good-looking Flash.
Yeah,
You know what
I
mean?
heard that.
Flash looks great in animation and in comic books and stuff. That's hard to do in real life. I get it.
It's always like the slow motion running while he's like zipping across the screen.
People always point to the Quicksilver scene from X-Men Days of Future Past. Like, yeah, see, you can do it.
It's like you slowed everybody else down to make it happen.
Yeah, like that's different. That's like one scene. It's a great scene.
You don't want a whole movie of that.
Right.
Exactly.
No, yeah.
What's the excitement level for Ticket to Ride Legacy?
For me, very high.
I'm
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm curious to see where they go with it and how it's gonna like legacyify.
I like Ticket to Ride. I don't love Ticket to Ride like a lot of people do. It's kind of like, oh, it's route building and tickets, and it's cool. But like,
It's trains, Roy. It's trains.
Now, hear me out.
now if
Trains,
Rob Davio's
Lord of the
involved,
Rings.
right? if they were like, we added crazy fantasy alien spaceships to Ticket to Ride, which they're not going to do, I'm sure of it. They could, but probably won't. Then I'd be like, cool. But otherwise, it's just trains.
I'm just trying to figure out what kind of story we can have here. Like, what's the story of this legacy game?
I think they could do that.
Because pandemic,
you know?
like, is inherently thematic. You know what I mean? Like, we all we all have stories that we've heard and stuff about like how this can be into a whole novel. I'm just like, how do you turn trains into a novel?
I'm just gonna go
Building
on.
routes.
I'm just gonna go on record right now and say I don't care one whit about the story in Ticket to Ride Legacy.
You just want to see cool mechanics
wanna
get
see-
unlocked as
Yeah.
time goes along.
You're gonna
Because
sticker new
naming
routes on the boards
cities.
and stuff.
You get to name the cities.
that would be awesome.
Whoville.
Reinventing the West. Yeah, I mean, Matt Leacock and Rob Davio are both, legacy.
I mean, they're really
game
good at it.
masters.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So and so yeah, Moon, Davio, Legacy, Leacock working together. I think the game's gonna be mechanically great, and I'm excited to see. Like, I bet there's going to be envelope openings where you're like, yeah, obviously that's gonna happen, but I think there'll be good ones that are like, woo, that's a unique twist, and just, I guess there'll be a story.
Maybe it'll be like steampunk. Like maybe it'll be like we're gonna go back to Wild Wild West.
That would be cool.
And then we're gonna steampunk it. I'm just making up stuff. Don't.
It starts
don't
turning
listen to me.
into Rise of Fenris.
I mean, Rob Davio is very much a fan of that sort of stuff, so it would be cool to see if he was able to hone everybody in to make it crazy. I would be more excited about that. If they're like, oh, we're gonna steampunk it, then it'd be
I read this steampunk set of novels. I don't remember what they are, so I apologize. But it's like steampunk zombies. It was really good. It was like this gas that ended up happening because of some sort of bomb or something. I don't even remember. There's some sort of gas in Washington State, in like Seattle area, that was let off, and it turned everybody into zombies. And so you had like steampunkness going on as they had to like gas maskify to go into the zombie land to not turn into zombies and stuff. Like, it was really cool. Really cool book.
I remember you
I'm
reading
serious,
that.
yeah.
Also, that's going to be in Chapter 7 of Ticket to Ride Legacy. Seattle, bomb, zombie smoke.
It now becomes Pandemic Ticket to Ride, where you're doing trains and having them,
Yes, yes.
and the games combine.
You played Dagger, Roy, didn't you?
Yes, so that's what I was gonna say next. Is have you
Spoilers.
played Marvel Dagger? Is it any good? So I haven't played. I read the rules. I set up on my table. I played 2 rounds, so I haven't really fully played. We're definitely not gonna give like any opinions on the game because that's what we do on this channel. Is we do reviews.
No spoilers.
True.
But I was trying to talk Chris into playing it after this, so maybe it'll happen super soon.
Oh, I have so much prep for Dice Tower East. I don't know if I'll get to play.
You
Yeah,
have
it-
work to do.
It has vibes of Eldritch Horror kind of mixed with Marvel Champions, which both of those games are in my top 100. But also, I haven't. It also says 3 to 4 hours on the box, so it might be extremely long.
I'm definitely not playing today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
All right. Well,
maybe you can come over and play later.
we'll play.
gonna
I'll play
steal the
Mysterium
game.
with Ruthie 15 times while you play.
Really?
Play this with Chris.
Mysterium's pretty quick.
It is.
Awesome.
It's pretty quick.
The box of Mysterium says 44.5-minute playtime.
Oh wow, 44 and a half.
And a half.
You have to have that half in there.
Definitely.
What else do you guys want to talk about here? What we got?
What is T of W? Do you ever got to T of W? What does T of W mean? Tears of Warcraft. I did play Warcraft when I was younger. I liked Warcraft.
I
With the
stayed
expansion.
away. I stayed away from Warcraft, which is probably good for my life.
It has some of the best music. Like putting
I-
the Warcraft CD into a CD
like
player and just
nostalgic, right,
listening to it.
probably?
Oh, yeah.
The Warcraft
played-
2
Stands out.
soundtrack.
I played RuneScape, which has also a pretty cool soundtrack, but it's like the poor man's Warcraft. Roy, did you add Clank Adventuring Party Catacombs? I actually have. I did that with the 5 players and played it up to 5 players, which is long, but it is cool to have the Adventuring Party stuff with some extra items and some extra things, so that's pretty cool.
I still haven't played Catacombs.
You should play it. It's basically, I mean, you said you weren't as big of a fan of Clank overall.
Right. I enjoy it, but I feel like if there's a movement card, you should buy it.
Yeah, but you always have movement cards that you can kind of get anyway. So, yeah, everybody has to get some of the movement cards, but
Yeah.
but
But yeah, if there's like a better one in the lineup, you're like, yeah, buying that one. Like, I feel like that's the biggest downside to me is that decision's almost like an automatic thing.
yeah,
But
I
I
think
still enjoy Clank.
with the exploration of the map, and the biggest decision is like how deep are you going to go, which directions are you going to go, are you going to explore with other people and kind of follow along so you can see what you're doing, or are you going to be opening up new random stuff? I really love the way that the new system like has where when you find treasures in the dungeon, it starts from like the lowest to like the highest when the tiles. So the deeper you go in, the more valuable your treasure is going to be worth. And then some of the tiles can actually like skip over. So it's like, oh, it wouldn't only put an 8, but now it's going to put out a 15. You know, it's like, oh, I'm going you know, I have so much fun with Clink.
I like that.
Yeah. Da.
Albany's is the best for gummies, hands down. Best
Let me
brand
know.
ever.
Let me know. I never had. Did you bring in Albany's? Was that some of the ones that you brought in before?
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha. That's
Albany's
cool.
are really good. What did we do on vacation, Chris?
What did we do?
What did we eat on vacation? Really, the question that you're asking.
Where's that?
Sushi, Korean barbecue. There's a place called, was it Luther 50/50? Is a half hamburger, half ground beef, half ground bacon. It was an interesting burger.
Pretty good.
And then they also offer that with bacon on top of it. And I was like, I'm okay.
But that was like $20, whereas we just went to In-N-Out, which was still better, for like $3.
It was like $11 for all three of us.
Oh my goodness.
Great.
Yeah.
I
love
want to hear you guys
In-N-Out.
talk about
I
the
miss
sushi place
In-N-Out.
again.
Oh, the sushi had. Okay, so what was it called? It was not the 888 sushi. That was the 888 Korean.
888 Korean barbecue. Sushi time.
Sushi time.
Sushi time.
Sushi time is
Had-
any time.
So we're big nigiri fans, and so the salmon was like a thick cut piece of salmon on this tiny little piece of rice. Like it was huge, and it was delicious, and it was creamy. And that's the type of creamy I can still taste.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Did you get any unagi?
We
Yeah.
we had some unagi. It was okay. Their unagi was not as
What?
good. I don't like it when it's a little bit fishy tasting, and it was a little bit fishy tasting.
Yeah, I
So
agree.
It was like texture wise, it was perfect. It was like that, like crispy on the outside, soft and moist in the middle, but it just was a little fishy. So,
It sounds delicious though.
but the actual fish was amazing.
I loved everything there. Also, we hung out with family and stuff, but mostly
Yeah.
the food. That's why we go back to Vegas.
What games are you guys looking forward to coming out at Gen Con this year?
I have not looked into it yet.
I've looked at some of the stuff. We're going to do, some of us are going to do like the Gen Con preview thing, probably.
Yeah.
That might even, I don't want to speak out of turn. It may or may not be in the Summer Spectacular.
Wow.
And then in the years past, Wendy and I did like a top 10 on our own
Yeah.
of like anticipated games and stuff. So, I don't know. There's a new Phil Walker Harding game coming out, so like,
That's cool.
Is that Lucky Duck the Black Quarter, Dark Quarter?
no.
No,
that
that's not
coming
going to be
out?
out for
Still
a
not
while.
out.
I wish
That's-
that was
that's-
coming out.
I keep waiting for it
It's either going to be late this year or I think next year.
someday.
I was saying I have no
Someday.
comment on this. No, I'm just kidding. You know what game I'm looking forward to?
You think they put butter on popcorn? It's not real butter. That's
What is
true.
not
I could
butter?
probably
Real butter.
taste fake butter better than I can taste real butter.
I was going to ask that, actually. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
We should experiment by going and getting buttery popcorn.
Done. Movies tonight. Let's go.
We still haven't seen Spider-Verse.
Wait, what?
We haven't.
We were in Vegas for a week,
Yeah.
which
That's what we
They
should've
don't
done.
have Spider-Verse in Vegas?
they don't have movie theaters.
We were watching kids.
They definitely have movie theaters in
I know. Yeah, no, we were spending
Yeah.
time with family. We were helping watch my brother's kids a bit of the time, too.
Oh, gotcha.
Also, I think movies there are more expensive than here.
I'm sure they
There's
are.
extra taxes and stuff.
You can't beat the $5 Tuesdays here, basically.
They do have some $5 Tuesday places out in Vegas, too.
$5 foot long.
But we decided to fly there
so
on
much.
Wednesday and fly back on Tuesday, so...
You know, it is significantly cheaper in ticket pricing, and there's a benefit of like either way, we're gonna come back the day before we start work. But now we came back the day before we started work, and I had a 3-day week instead of a 5-day week. So
But when Tom asks why we did a weird midweek to midweek vacation, it's because it's so much cheaper to fly.
it was so much cheaper. It was like significant. It was like we saved hundreds of dollars
Yeah.
doing Tuesday to Wednesday or Wednesday to Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yes. What we
This-
got?
This is going to be boring for you guys. Should I answer it?
Do what you want, man.
Okay.
You're running the machine.
Last a light.
Roy, when you started pitching last night, how did you go about contacting publishers, emails, conventions, speed pitch events? It was kind of weird. You should go back and watch the At the Table I did with Eric. So I did an At the Table with Eric, and I talked about a lot of this stuff, about how like I went through the process of a bunch of things, going from different publishers. Honestly, the first time I was showing it to anybody who was even involved with publishers, I was just showing it to get their opinions on the game for them to like help me out. And they were like, you need to pitch this to us. Like immediately I was like, they're like, bring this to Origins and pitch it to us. And I'm like, okay, you know? So yeah, but then at different points I like reached out and emailed people asking if they were taking pitches and things like that, and got a bunch of bites and things like that. I haven't done any of the speed dating or any of that stuff. It was mostly just because I have some contacts or whatever with publishers, and I've kind of done a bunch of stuff in the industry people knew who I was enough to be like, okay, I'll look at your game, that sort of thing.
I'm sure it would be harder if you haven't had the chance to rub shoulders, at least in
Right.
some way. Like,
And
I think in life in general, networking is so vital
Yeah.
for any sort of business.
Right, I've been doing board game media and board game stuff for quite a long time. And I mean, Gray Fox, I had on like my podcast like forever ago. Josh, my developer, who I actually ended up pitching the game to, and they ended up picking it up. Like I had talked to him on my podcast a ton of different times beforehand, so like I had reputation and rapport with people. That's the thing is, if you're a brand new designer, you don't really have your name out there in the industry. I mean, you just have to go to conventions and talk to people and rub shoulders and try to get the word out there,
Yeah.
And networking is just like one of the first things you need to do in any industry you want to try to break into,
if I had to do it without any, is clout the word? Without without anyone recognizing me, I would probably try to like do some networking, not for the purpose of saying I'm an up and coming board game designer. Nice to meet you. I just going, talking with people at the booths, getting to know people and stuff, and then doing follow up business emails. This is the accounting school part of me that's like, hey, it was great to meet you. Thanks for taking time to talk with me at your booth. I'm excited about your upcoming games. Reach back out to them later on and say, hey, like utilize that networking first, just as pure getting to know people, I suppose.
And I also wouldn't do that without like playing the game a ton with a ton of people, I mean, I played at like unpub event things and just like got people's feedback and opinions. And then also like I took it to Gen Con and just set it up and like just had random people come up and play the game with me, and they really enjoyed it too. And that was one of the reasons why one of the publishers like wanted me to pitch it to him, was because I was just trying to play it with more people and get their ideas. And I mean, you should know whether or not your game is good or not by how people react to it when you're teaching it to them. Are they, that's one of the things you just kind of have to hone and learn as you go along,
People who owe you no kindness.
Right,
whatsoever.
Yeah.
and that's
Not
the main
friends,
thing.
not
Is like,
family.
don't play with your mom and your brother and your game group specifically, because they might be a little bit too nice. If you play with random people that have no clue who you are and no reason to even like lie to you about stuff, you'll be able to tell a little bit more. Sometimes they won't say it to your face, but you can kind of tell by the way they're playing or the way they're feeling about it. So there's that.
That's fair. That's fair.
Forbidden ice cream.
Yeah, that was,
That was a while ago.
We have all these.
We've got a lot of
callbacks 'cause
questions
they're
we're not going to get to.
I-
Let's time this up.
I withdraw the banishment. You may continue to eat ice cream.
I was going to continue to eat ice cream anyways. Oh, it's the weekend. Can we eat ice cream?
Can I get pizza?
Yes.
So I had ice cream last night. Ruthie came back from like going to pick up some stuff from the store. I'm like, "Did you get ice cream?" She's like, "No, but I could totally go back out." She's like totally
refuse.
down, and so like we put the kids to bed or whatever, and she's like, "Do you want Dairy Queen or do you want like bucket of ice cream?" I'm like, "Oh, let's just." She's like, "What do you want?" It's like Dairy Queen. I'm like, "Actually, get me a milkshake." So I had a mint milkshake, and she had Reese's and cherry ice cream or Blizzard. It was solid.
Mint is
It
like
was
the
solid.
biggest argument in our existence,
No,
man.
broom services, but mint
Okay,
is pretty close.
Mint is secondary.
You guys don't like mint, or which one doesn't like mint?
I really like mint chocolate chip. Chris
Yeah.
thinks it tastes like toothpaste.
Yeah, I've heard that you don't like that.
I am what I am. Cannot fix
I
that.
never buy ice cream at the store when I'm shopping for other groceries, because that would create a very bad precedence in my life.
So many of these comments are like from so long ago, I don't even know what they're
yeah.
talking about.
Right? Keep scrolling. Keep
I
scrolling.
know. I always fall so far behind on these things, especially when we have
Yeah.
3 people to talk about
Who
the stuff.
teaches the games the most between you and 3? I would vote Chris.
I would vote Chris also.
Yeah. Chris is a machine.
I like learning games, and if I'm gonna teach a game, like it has to be something that I'm like really excited about, It's like pull it off the shelf, learn it, and then teach it or whatever. But I can pick up games really quick, so it's like, oh, if somebody else can just talk about it, I can.
Roy is one of those people that he looks at a board and he's like, I got the game. I can play it. You're like, tell him 2 rules.
Joey was trying to figure out how to play that other Marvel game or whatever, and I was like, can I help? So I kind of like looked at the
I
board. I'm
think
like,
it's
I
that-
think this is how this works.
I think that's that design brain. Like, you just have cogs I don't have in my brain.
To be able to kind of intuit
Yeah.
based on things. Yeah, I mean, when we played Chaos Order, the Garfield game,
Mm-hmm.
there's like a few things that you clarified
by looking at the iconography.
by looking at the iconography, the way the board was laid out. You're like, I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure this is how it works.
And
I
you're
was
like,
like-
I don't know. You're right.
Yeah. And then I don't know. That's cool. It's admirable that you can like pick up on things so quick.
Oh, gotcha.
But yeah, I probably do read a lot of the rule books.
I think it's because
I just like playing games.
I do struggle with a bit of like dyslexia and stuff like that. So reading rule books straight up is not the easiest thing for me. So what I normally did before I worked for the Dice Tower is I would watch Tom's review videos and watch the overview, which is not a rules teach at all.
It's not.
But it was
right.
enough
But
for
it
you.
would give me enough to like know, okay, these are some of the mechanics. This is kind of like a little bit of the flow of the game. This is kind of like what Tom likes about the game or like how it works. And I could watch those videos and then skim the rule book and then look at the board and then know how to play the game.
I always have that debate when reading a rule book, like, because I don't plan on watching a video, I plan to just read it. And so I'm like, do I do a quick read of the whole thing and just kind of get a general idea of what's going on? Or do I, like, dig in from the get-go and be like, I have to understand every paragraph here? Because then you have to read twice.
Also, when I'm teaching a game to people, like I hate like ever touching the rule book. Like I want to know the game so well that like I can just be like, here's how it works, and then that'd be it.
I would never teach any games if that were the case.
Really?
Yeah, I don't have a specifics memory. Like my memory is very broad concepts. So I'm really good at like understanding concepts. I catch them very quickly. But the details, I have to be in the rule book to get the details.
The only thing that I look at the rule book is like, is this game 5 cards at the beginning or 6 cards at the beginning? You know, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then a lot of times I remember that depending on the game. If it's a game that I really like, it's like, Unmatched 5 cards, you know, Magic 7 cards, you know,
Yeah.
Redemption 8 cards, whatever.
I'll tell you one thing that has changed for me for sure is that when I started working here, / right before I started working here, I could teach so many games just from memory. I have a good memory for that. Almost our entire collection at home, I feel like I could teach 90% of those games without having to reference the rule book, save for opening card, opening money,
Yeah,
like those
kinda
types of
stuff.
things. Having worked here for over 2 years, I have so many rules in my head that like
You've
I'm
lost
messes
that.
it up.
I'm not ashamed to have to open up the rule book and be like, these are the 5 actions, got it. And I can spout them off pretty well still, but like I will reference the rule book, and there's no shame in that.
I just need, I always need a trigger for memories. So I play piano and I can have played a song basically memorized for a decade or more. And I still have to have that sheet music in front of me to trigger those memories. Like I'm just one of those people that I have to have some sort of visual trigger or something to like
Interesting.
bring that up. So a rule book is perfect for that because I'm like, oh yeah,
Or
got it.
player aids.
Player
Player
aids,
aids
yeah.
help a lot,
Player aids.
for sure.
Yeah, I will teach from a player aid a lot because that basically gives me that same type of
Yeah,
thing.
it's like
oh yeah,
those little-
here's the 5 actions I can do. Oh, here's the flow
Exactly.
of the game.
Yeah. Just knowing what the actions are, it's like it doesn't tell you exactly the breakdown, but it's like, oh, if I know which ones they are, then I can tell people how to do it. It's like, oh, Mansion Magnus, yeah, it has a push action, which you basically never use, but there is a push action. You can push somebody a space if they need to get a little bit further.
Right. I think that we have reached our time, sadly.
What? Wendy's like, I got tons of things to do.
11:03. I got East to prep for.
Holy smokes, we have like half of the chat that we didn't get to.
You know that
But
happens.
But hey, we'll have to do this again. I know everybody wants to talk to me and Chris and Wendy. Mostly Wendy, but it's okay.
the Q'in and the A'in.
Oh,
Easy done
and
it.
Kabuki Kid came in halfway through. Kabuki! We didn't get any of your questions answered.
No questions. What was the last question on the list?
The last question on the list is
Player aids are awesome. That's not a question. That's a fact.
favorite ice cream flavor.
Um,
Rocky Road.
variety. Variety is my favorite flavor. So if I had to pick one, it would be Neapolitan, just because it's variety.
Wow.
But I
The
really,
Neapolitan is just like chocolate, vanilla, strawberry,
yeah,
plain.
because variety.
I know, but like it doesn't have any like goodies in it.
I don't need goodies. Also, a lot of goodies have gluten. So
Why don't you go with a nice
you're right.
spumoni?
no, I don't like cherries much.
Gluten flavored goodies.
How about you?
Moose tracks, like a dense, good moose tracks. I
tracks is
want
solid.
plenty of peanut butter cups, but I want that fudge ripple, and I don't mind if you overdo the mix-in stuff. That's never been a problem to me.
That's amazing.
Oh, they have Reese's chocolate shell. That stuff is amazing. So
That's
good.
true. All right.
Alrighty.
Awesome, guys. Well, thanks so much for joining us here on this Q&A. You're all the best. We don't have anything else live going up this week, but we do have live things going up next week. We do have reviews going up for the rest of the weekend. Are there any big reviews, do you know, that are coming up?
Like I said, this weekend, that World Wonders game, you should check that one out. What else is going on? Ooh, Lenscrafters just texted me.
It's definitely World Wonders is like the big one. Tom's talking about his Aeon Trespass stuff with craziness going on in that. Tom has a Rapid Fire Roundup. There's a Brains and Brawn review for Unmatched. And Seas of Havoc is also coming up. On
Seas of Havoc
Saturday.
tomorrow, yeah. Graham is doing Blazon, so that'll be good. Yeah, Monday.
Blazon. Apply directly to the blaze.
So Monday, no board game breakfast. There won't actually be a board game breakfast until after East.
True.
Because we're going to have a Q&A and we'll play it live. So make sure to come back for those live things.
Sounds
Awesome.
good.
Well, thanks everybody for joining us here. I've been Roy Ganning.
I'm Wendy Yee.
Oh, no. We do have a
Wait.
live. Sorry. That's right. The Delicio Factor is back at 2 o'clock. So
me
The
more.
National Treasure, Mike DeLisio.
I know, yeah. Mike, thanks for catching that. Yeah, I was like, I thought there was something else live. You're right. Mike over at the Dice Tower West Annex. Make sure to come give him all the support that he really needs.
And ask
I'm
him all
Chris
your questions.
Yee.
And we'll see you on the next one. Peace.